Welcome to HFY Haunt. Are you ready? The stories here will challenge your perceptions.
They told us not to go there. Every advanced civilization in the known galaxy carried the same warning in their archives. A single line, repeated across thousands of star maps. Avoid this world. Its official designation was K2-141b. A rocky exoplanet locked in a suicidal dance around its star, so close that a full year passed in less than 7 Earth hours. But among humans, it earned a different name. Hell's Anvil. Because this planet did not simply exist. It endured. One side of the world burned at temperatures that could melt stone into glowing oceans of fire. Mountains did not stand there, they flowed. Rivers were not made of water, but of molten rock, moving slowly, endlessly, like veins inside a living body. The other side of the planet never saw light. Eternal night. Temperatures so low that even metals became brittle. A frozen wasteland locked in silence. Between them was a narrow strip, the Terminator line. The only place where matter could exist without instantly being destroyed. Alien civilizations had learned the lesson long ago. Planets like this were not worth the cost. Entire species had vanished trying to extract resources from extreme worlds. Others lost fleets attempting to tame planets that refused to be controlled. So the galaxy made a rule. Some worlds are forbidden. Humans disagreed. Not because we believed we were stronger. Not because we thought we were immune. But because humans have always asked the wrong question. Not can we survive? But can we understand? The human research vessel ISS Perseverance arrived at Hell's Anvil on a silent burn, its hull glowing faintly from residual heat. Commander Ayesha Umar stood at the observation window, staring at the impossible world below. No storms. No clouds. No oceans of water. Just fire. And death. Orbital stability? She asked calmly. Marginal, replied Dr. Lin from the science console. The planet's gravity field is irregular. Irregular was a polite word. The sensors showed constant microfluctuations, as if the planet's mass distribution was shifting in real time. As if the planet were moving itself. Alien observers, light years away, watched the human ship with detached certainty. They had seen this before. A curious species approaches a forbidden world. Confidence turns into panic. Panic turns into loss. Then silence. That was always the pattern. The humans prepared to deploy the probe. A deep-core exploration unit, wrapped in experimental diamond ceramic shielding, designed to survive conditions no machine had ever faced. Its objective was simple. Drill into the magma ocean. Analyze planetary formation. Transmit data. And leave. As the probe detached from the ship and began its descent, the galaxy had a saying. When a planet reacts, it is already too late. Deep beneath the surface of K2-141b, something shifted. The magma ocean no longer moved like liquid. It pulsed. Sensors aboard the ISS Perseverance spiked wildly as seismic waves traveled across the planet's crust in synchronized patterns. The readings were too clean. Too precise. Nature was never this organized. Commander, Dr. Lin said slowly, his voice barely steady, the planet's internal oscillations are aligning. Ayesha Umar stared at the data stream scrolling across the holographic display. Aligning with what? She asked. Lin swallowed. With our probe. The molten column rising from the surface expanded, its glowing edges sharpening into impossible geometry. Gravity readings fluctuated violently. The ship groaned as artificial stabilizers fought to keep orbit. This was not an eruption. This was a response. Far beyond the system, alien observation arrays locked onto the event. Ancient species, those who had survived long enough to be cautious, recognized the signal immediately. A forbidden world had been provoked. In countless previous encounters across the galaxy, this moment always ended the same way. Ships burned. Crews vanished. Records ended mid-transmission. Because planets like this did not warn twice. Recommend immediate retreat, the ship's AI announced. Probability of mission survival decreasing rapidly. Ayesha didn't answer. She watched the magma waves roll inward, converging beneath the probe like muscle tightening around a wound. "Lin," she said, "tell me something honestly." "Yes, Commander?" "Did we damage it?" Lin hesitated. Then nodded. The probe's drilling destabilized a thermal balance layer. The planet is compensating. Compensating. A word that implied intention. The ship shuddered again as a deep vibration rippled through space itself. The planet's gravity well began to tighten, not explosively, but methodically. Alien observers leaned forward. This was the kill phase. A controlled collapse of orbit. A slow execution. Several civilizations had tried to flee at this stage. None had succeeded. "Commander," the AI repeated, escape window closing. Ayesha closed her eyes briefly. Human history flashed through her mind, not wars, not victories, but mistakes. Worlds stripped for resources. Ecosystems shattered by progress. Damage done first. Understanding later. She opened her eyes. "We're not leaving yet," she said. Lin stared at her. "If we stay, the ship won't survive." "I know." The molten column collapsed suddenly, slamming back into the magma ocean. A shockwave raced across the surface, heading toward the frozen night side. If it crossed the Terminator line, the temperature differential would tear the planet apart. And with it, everything nearby. "This planet isn't attacking us," Lin said, realization creeping into his voice. "It's stabilizing itself." Alien observers froze. That interpretation had never been recorded before. Planets were obstacles. Threats. Hazards. Not systems correcting damage. Not entities maintaining balance. The ship's AI recalculated frantically. Warning. Planetary rupture imminent. Survival probability, 12%. 12%. In the galaxy, that number meant retreat. For humans, it meant choice. Ayesha placed her hand on the command rail. "All power to the drive core," she ordered. Lin turned sharply. "That's insane. The drive isn't designed for." "I know exactly what it's designed for," she interrupted. "Gravitational manipulation." The AI paused. "Clarify intent." "We're not fighting the planet," Ayesha said. "We're matching it." Silence fell across the bridge. Alien observers exchanged signals rapidly. This was unprecedented. No species had ever attempted synchronization with a hostile world. It was inefficient, dangerous, illogical. Humanity specialized in all three. The drive core began to glow, energy bleeding into space in controlled pulses. Not thrust. Not escape. Resonance. The ship vibrated violently as artificial gravity fields extended outward, intersecting the planet's natural oscillations. For a moment, nothing happened. Then, slowly, the magma waves hesitated. Seismic spikes softened. The planet's resonance shifted. Adjust. Matched. Across the galaxy, ancient observers recorded something they did not have words for. The planet was listening. And the humans were responding. Pause. Let silence stretch. This was no longer a mission. It was a conversation. And the next decision would define how the universe would see humanity forever. The universe measures intelligence in efficiency. Minimize loss. Maximize survival. Withdraw when the cost becomes unacceptable. That is how civilizations endure. That is how civilizations remain. Predictable. On the bridge of the ISS Perseverance, those rules no longer applied. The synchronization held, barely. The artificial gravitational pulse emitted by the human drive core intersected with the natural resonance of K2-141b, creating a fragile equilibrium. The magma ocean below slowed, its violent motion reduced to controlled waves. But the ship was dying. Hull temperature climbed past safe limits. Structural stress alarms cascaded across the bridge. The drive core screamed under the strain, its containment field flickering. "Commander," the AI warned, "engine failure projected in 4 minutes." 4 minutes. Lin's hands trembled as he studied the readings. "We can disengage now. The planet might stabilize on its own. Might. Or it might tear itself apart once the external resonance vanished." Alien observers watched silently. They had catalogued countless civilizations. They had seen heroism. They had seen arrogance. But this moment confused them. Why didn't the humans leave? Ayesha Umar stared at the planet, at the molten surface glowing like a living heart. "We broke something," she said quietly. No one spoke. "In our history," she continued, "we used to arrive, take what we needed, and call it progress." Lin looked up. "We don't do that anymore," Ayesha said. "Not if we want to survive what comes next." The frozen night side of the planet cracked. A massive fault line spread across the dark hemisphere as the thermal imbalance pushed against the planet's structural limits. If the magma crossed fully into the night side, the collapse would be unstoppable. The AI recalculated. Updated survival probability, 9%. 9%. The galaxy considered that number irrelevant. Humans considered it a challenge. "Route auxiliary power into the drive core," Ayesha ordered. Lin's eyes widened. "That will burn out the engines permanently." "I know. You're stranding us." Ayesha nodded. "But we won't strand the planet." Alien observers reacted instantly. Shock rippled through their networks. No species sacrificed mobility. No species surrendered escape. Not voluntarily. The drive core surged. Space itself bent around the ship as the gravitational field intensified, synchronizing more deeply with the planet's internal oscillations. The ship's frame groaned, metal warping under forces it was never meant to endure. Below, the magma flow changed direction. Not violently. Purposefully. The molten rivers slowed before reaching the frozen hemisphere. The cracking ice stabilized. The fault lines sealed. The planet's resonance normalized. For the first time since its formation, K2-141b was balanced. The cost came immediately. The ISS Perseverance lost main thrust. Then secondary systems. Then power dropped to emergency levels. The ship drifted, silent and broken, barely clinging to orbit. Lin exhaled shakily. Planet stabilized. Ayesha closed her eyes. They had done it. But at a price no alien civilization would ever accept. Alien observers transmitted a single unified conclusion to their archives. Humans are not reckless. Humans are not brave. Humans are worse. Humans take responsibility. And responsibility, in a hostile universe, is terrifying. Pause. The ship was alive. The crew was alive. But they could not leave. Not yet. And the galaxy was still watching. Silence returned to space. The violent tremors around K2-141b faded into stability. The magma oceans continued to glow, but now they flowed with purpose, not chaos. The planet lived. The ISS Perseverance did not celebrate. Its engines were dead. Primary systems reduced to minimal life support. A human ship, broken and drifting, suspended above a world it had chosen to save. Commander Ayesha Umar looked around the bridge. No one spoke. They all understood what they had given up. Across the galaxy, observation arrays remained locked on the scene. Ancient civilizations processed what they had witnessed. No conquest. No extraction. No victory signal. Only sacrifice. Alien analysts compared the outcome to every known survival model. The humans had failed. The mission had failed. The ship had failed. The efficiency metrics collapsed. And yet, the planet remained stable. The AI aboard Perseverance broke the silence. Long-range distress signal prepared. Estimated rescue window, unknown. Ayesha nodded. Transmit. The signal carried no demand. No claim of achievement. Only data. And responsibility. The alien civilizations intercepted it instantly. They saw everything. The moment humans could have escaped. The decision to stay. The irreversible damage humans accepted to prevent greater harm. That was when the classification changed. Humans were removed from the category of predictable species. A new designation replaced it. Existential variable. Because humans did something no intelligence-driven civilization had ever done. They chose what was right over what ensured survival. And that frightened the galaxy. Not because humans were strong, but because humans were willing to lose. The rescue fleet arrived days later. The ISS Perseverance was towed from orbit, silent, scarred, powerless. As the ship departed, sensors recorded one final anomaly. A stable resonance echo. A planetary equilibrium